the show.
Hey, what's up, peeps? My name is Lachlan Monroe. You're watching Vinny and Skip on the Best Damn Movie Show on YouTube.com.
Well, it's 2015. It is 2015, and welcome to the Best Damn Movie Show's second episode of 2015. And I told you I was gonna bring him. The man himself, the legend.
Well, you know, we live a ways apart, and our schedules are a bit different now than they used to be, so I had to see some movies on my own, and you saw some other movies on your own.
Dan Skip Allen from the fourth row is here, joining me on the beautiful couch.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to come back. We had actually planned on doing a show a couple weeks ago, and
didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Timing didn't work out.
We wanted to do an end of the year show. Instead, we're doing a beginning of the year show.
Beginning of the year show. By now, if you have not seen it, mine and Skip's. Is your list up yet?
I have posted it to Letterboxd, and you can go on my Facebook channel or my website from the fourth row, WordPress.com, or my Facebook, Dan Skip Allen, and you just look up. It usually starts. It should have a photo of Boyhood, and that you click on that. That'll be my top 10 movies of the year, my honorable mentions.
And mine's on thebestmovieshow.com. You might have to scroll down a little bit because I've posted three episodes of my last show. So if you scroll down, you'll see my worst, my best, and my top animated film. It was funny because there's only 10 animated films that came out last year.
No, there wasn't. There was more than that.
Well, no. 10 major films. Because I went through them all. There might have been some like odds and end, like BS ones, but there was only 10 major.
Yeah, I only did a top 5 of the animated movies.
Dude, it was hard to do a top 10. It really was.
Yeah.
I had to put Mr. Hobolt in there.
Would you have to put in there?
Mr. Hobolt.
Oh yeah.
It's 11-minute. It's an 11-minute animated film. If you've not seen it, it's neat. It's silent. It's silent and there's no dialogue. There's some clickety-clackety kind of things in there, but well, my friend, we've already started out 2015 with a bang. I've already seen. I'm up to 8 now. 8 films. I saw this week. I saw The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. I've seen The Gambler. We already saw, so far this week, we saw Inherent Vice on Monday, and we saw, is it Selma? Selma tonight. The story about Martin Luther King. And then you're going to talk about Big Eye.
And Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher with Steve. You know, I gotta tell you, he looks so weird with that nose.
Yeah, well, his nickname in the movie is the Eagle.
Yeah,
well.
Fantastic movie though. But let's get into it. I'll do one and then I'll throw it to you. I started off seeing The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. The original one came out in 1974, starring Paul Sorvino and James Cain. That was the original cast.
Oh, okay.
And I've not seen that one yet.
I didn't know it was a remake.
Yeah, it was a remake. Paul Sorvino was the main character.
All right.
I gotta tell you, I think I was more pissed off with this movie than I actually enjoyed it.
Really?
And I tell you why. Somebody has to be that... Spoiler alert, okay? If you don't want to know about it, a little spoiler alert. Somebody has to be that dumb to owe somebody $260,000. Then their family bails them out, gives them $260,000 in cash, And the moron goes and spends it at the fucking casino. Sorry for my language. But he goes out to the casino and spends it. You know, it's just like common sense, man. It's like if you get the money, why not just go and pay the debts off?
Because it's a disease. Gambling is like alcoholism or drug abuse. It's a disease. Gamblers have to constantly be gambling and taking the money that they got and going to try to win more money. And they really show how far that Mark Wahlberg's character goes in this movie, because he really gets to some depths, some low depths.
You know? Oh yeah, yeah. There's some really low depths with his mom where, you know, she's just fed up with him, and even when and he's a school teacher, and even in the school scenes, some of his students, you know, they get fed up with him, but overall, I don't want to give too much away, but the movie's about him. He's a gambler, and he gets himself into some debt, and he's trying to figure out a way to get out of it. Mark Wahlberg's a star. Like I said, it's a remake of the 1974 one. I'm going to go see... One of my goals this year is to actually watch that. Plus, I want to watch other movies that have remakes to keep up with the Jones. I'm going to give this movie... I think I said I want to give this movie... I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And then, I tell you what, I really enjoyed Big Eyed. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, Big Eyes is the story of Margaret Keane and, it's Margaret...
Well, Keane is her last name she marries into.
Yeah, that's right. Margaret Hillholt or Hill... Margaret's something like... And the movie starts out with her and her daughter running away from her husband. Well, she runs to this nice, sleepy little town.
San Francisco.
Up, you know, off the coast of San Francisco, a little bit south. And she meets this, I guess, connoisseur of painting and artist. And he swoops in and sweeps her off her feet. And he's played by Christoph Waltz. Now, Margaret Keane was played by Nicole Kidman. And they hit it off really good because of the painting, but it soon comes to the fact that Keane himself is trying to take her name and take her ability by going out into town and into the bars and places and acting like he was her and selling her paintings because she's a painter. And she paints these little big-eyed children. And he goes out and tries to take her name. And so the whole movie is about him getting a big name for himself at the expense of his wife while she's slaving away painting the big-eyed children. And he, of course, is a slick guy. So he's like, oh, people won't accept a female painter. You need to keep it in my name and then we'll make the money and da-da-da-da. And, of course, eventually... it comes to the fact where she's fed up, and the true story is the truth comes out in the courtroom. I'm not going to give the whole movie away, but there's a courtroom scene, and the truth comes out. But the acting is fantastic. Nicole Kidman and Christoph Waltz were fantastic too.
No, Amy Adams.
I said no. It's Nicole. It is. Oh, my bad. You're absolutely right. It is Amy Adams. Why? I got those two mixed up. How I got them two
Nicole
mixed up.
Kidman is in Still Allison.
Yeah, she's in another movie. It is Amy Adams. I'm kind of tired right now. If it doesn't seem like it. But Christoph Waltz and Amy Adams are fantastic in Big Eyes. And Tim Burton. This is a different Tim Burton movie, but you see the elements of Tim Burton's movies from the past. You know, the brightness, the colors.
It doesn't look like a Tim Burton movie, does it?
No, it's very different than a lot of Tim Burton movies.
You know what Christoph Waltz reminds me of? A younger, Martin, Steve Martin.
Really?
Younger Steve Martin.
I don't see that, but I understand where you're coming from.
Also, I saw a double feature on Saturday. I saw Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. I gotta tell you, man. First off, I gotta tell you, the very first one that came out, it had, oh God, what's his name?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter. Way better. Way better. And it kills me that these movies are rated PG-13 and they're horror movies.
Well, they want to try to capitalize on as many people as they can.
I tell you what, this one just I don't even know why they made it second one. The story's about the town that they lived in London was getting blown away in some war, and
World War II.
Yeah, World War II or something like that. So they had to move the kids and the people that didn't have families to a deserted island that had this house that was just abandoned and creepy, and but the movie takes place on this island. I really didn't see the point of the movie. It was just real bland. Nothing what I expected. It was way fetched from the first one. I mean, if you saw the first one, it's nothing like that one. And it's just something I just wouldn't recommend it. I'm gonna tell you how low this is. I'm gonna give this movie I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's pretty low.
I really thought that the point of this movie was way fetched.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear good things about it, but I'm not a big horror movie fan anyway.
No.
The other movie I saw on Christmas Day was Foxcatcher. Now, Foxcatcher is the story of John DuPont, and in the movie, John DuPont is played by Steve Carell. Very different role for Steve Carell. These two brothers, the Schultz brothers, Dave Schultz played by Mark Ruffalo, and Mark Schultz played by Channing Tatum. Once again, a very different role for Channing Tatum. He plays kind of like this tough wrestler guy. And basically the whole gist of the story is this guy, John DuPont, he's a wrestling fan. He wants to support the United States wrestling team in their chase for the Olympics and the World Wrestling Championship and so forth. And so he convinces Mark Schultz to come to his ranch in his house in Pennsylvania called Foxcatcher Ranch, and it's like on the outside of just like the Civil War, some of the Civil War, Gettysburg and all those kinds of places out in Pennsylvania. So, and of course, if you know the story, you know the ending, but it's about kind of this infatuation in a lot of ways that John DuPont has with Mark Schultz, and then Dave Schultz, he's just like, something's wrong, something's going on, and so he decides he's going to cash in on the money, and he's going to come to Foxcatcher, and they're all going to work together. But it's a very gripping kind of tale of what not to do and who not to trust in life. Sometimes people just aren't who they seem. Just because they got a lot of money and fame and fortune and whatever doesn't necessarily mean they're nice people. Nope. You got to be careful who you can trust.
That's for sure.
But
what was John DuPont famous for?
John DuPont, the DuPont automotive finishes and DuPont, they do a lot of paints, which Jeff Gordon, if you remember the Jeff Gordon race car, he was sponsored by DuPont, and they do a lot of stuff like pieces and parts on the space shuttles. They specialize in a lot of like building supplies, paints, kind of.
So odds and things.
Yeah, but they're like specialty, like they do like the bottoms of the shuttles. They build the bottoms of the shuttles special, and they have like a design warehouse where they designed new products. I mean, the DuPonts are into all kinds of things, but they were very, very, very rich. One of the first richest families in America back during.
I wonder if they're still around.
After that whole thing, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really look it up a whole lot. I just knew there was an article that came out the other day that Mark Schultz did not like the portrayal of himself in the movie. So, oh well, sour grapes now. But I give Big Eyes a big see it, and I also give Foxcatcher a big see it.
Well, when we come back here on the Best Movie Show, we're going to get into other reviews of
Inherent Vice and Selma.
So stick around. You're watching the best movie show right here on YouTube.com.